request actually was an arcane one. Da, 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 da. Which I mean, I'm glad. I'm happy to have a bit of a brand. I'm happy to be catered to when I'm supposed to be doing something for everybody else. Let's see. All right, yeah. First request is a. Oh no, it wasn't arcane actually. This is a fun twist. I didn't read it all the way apparently. It was Kane and Master. With Kane being a freak, which I'm all for actually. Um, let's see. One of my very early Malevolent, not theories, jokes, I guess, was saying that these two were divorced, which I'm still all for, frankly. I am still very much a fan of Eldritch Divorce. You're going to see how much I mess with my poses. Oop. Let me see. This has gotten really weird. Oh, it got big. Why'd you get big? There we go. I think it is divorced behavior to come into your ex's house and ruin things. Just absolutely demolish any semblance of peace. Like, why? Kane may be obsessed with Arthur, but like, what else is this behavior for? You give him his little hair. And this pose that I want him to have. I'm gonna adjust this so you guys get a little bit more of the screen there. I don't want to keep covering his face with his little banner. I might just turn off the banner. We'll see. I'm attached to my banner, but I might be able to make him a little smaller. Whoop. Whoop. There we go. Yeah. I like drawing Kane in like a little crouching position. He's too tall here, but I think he seems like a guy that would crouch. I will ask, can you all hear me okay? I haven't seen anything in chat. We have had some issues with my mic in the past, so I just want to make sure. Perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm just going to be yapping away, so. I don't know if Kane is really being a creep here. I think he's just kind of being a weirdo. I'm picturing this as like kind of taunting Aster. while he's recovering from either losing John or maybe right after he sent John to the Dark World the second time. Every time I draw Haster, he changes slightly. He's a little bit more John here, but that's okay. This is going to be a fun anatomy exercise, I realize. I've given myself a little bit of a what does this massive tentacles look like from the front or at this angle? Who knows? He's just going to be kind of lumpy. Alrighty. I keep going too high for you guys. That's the issue. I say that's the issue. Like there's just one. Alright. He's got his fun little crown, his spikes. Every time, I do have to say this, and it is my fault completely, 100%. Every time I draw the King in Yellow icons, everybody thinks that he is the Pale King from Hollow Knight, and I do get it, but I don't know. I get defensive. I want my buddy Haster to be known across the land, I guess. I'd be such a good cultist for the King in Yellow. Can we be real? King in your head is too small. Just gonna fully change his face. No, we're going back. This is another. Hello. Hi. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, thanks for joining me as I redraw Kane's face 1,000 times, even though this is supposed to be a quick sketch. This is what you don't see whenever I draw Kane. I draw Kane so much, and you'd think, oh, Sam must know what Kane looks like. No, this man changes every time I draw him. And that feels correct, actually. Get his little eye bag in. There we go. I think, here's what I'm gonna do to put the creep factor up there. There's this little bow tie. I'm just gonna have him like reaching forward a little bit and have him holding one of Haster's tentacles. That feels invasive, right? That feels malevolent in some way. And he's gonna be a little shorter. Just a little bit. Oh, okay. Is that hand backwards? No. All right, there we go. No one should ever sit like this in a suit jacket, just for the record. It's not good for the seams. But I'll draw it. For him. I almost said do it for him, which would be the most cursed version of that meme, frankly. Don't do anything for King. Should be the tagline for Malevolent, actually. Literally, do not do anything for this man. It will not go your way. I can't draw this arm. Oh, right, and he doesn't have to wear shoes. That's why I love him. So much easier to draw than spats or whatever Arthur wears. These weird little feet. We're gonna do this arm one more time, and then I promise we'll do another sketch. It's the guys! I know! They're having not, well, probably a fun time on Kane's end, and maybe a not so fun time on Haster's. Here, this will make it a little easier. I am gonna have to flip this. Flip this hand. Ooh. I forgot his little blood spatter. How could I do that? Yeah, there we go. There we go. That feels good. I like that. I like the pose now. It's fun. He's being a creep. I think I've hit the brief. I think I've done it. Let's add a couple final folds to this tattered cloak for our king. He's got his little tongue things. Gotta put his bone arms that I forgot about. There we go. Sketch one done. Oh, the prompt for this one was a pretty simple one. It was Kane and Haster, Kane slash Haster, so little shippy, with Kane being a freak. I maybe didn't go as hard as I could have with this one, but I in my mind, I'm thinking this is Kane taunting our beloved king when things are not going his way. So he's being a little bit of a freak. Not maybe a ton of a freak, but again, favorite divorced couple as the prompt provided. So I'm having. I hope the person enjoys uh, this fill. All right, our next guy. What is? Oh, okay. This one's very different vibes. This freak is Kane's natural state, is the thing. We're not really going to get anything else from the guy. We know what to expect. But the next prompt is we're gonna hit a little bit of a different vibe. And then this next person requested a little Holy Ghosts with Nolan Oscar as a treat. Shout out um, everybody's current favorite Malevolent fan comic, I would assume. It's certainly one of mine. Yeah. Potato Lord, but not great artist. And I have, in fact, I pulled this up earlier. Guys, I don't draw Oscar enough. I don't know what he looks like. I definitely did. I used to draw him a little older, and then I got really attached to Potato Lord's design, so I have slightly shifted my own. Um, Noel I draw a little bit more often, but I pulled up ref for him early just just so I had a little bit of a bit more of a basis. Little holy ghosts. There isn't a super specific prompt for this one. So I wanna go, what do I want to do? I think I'm gonna, they're gonna get brunch together. Because that's what I do with my gay friends, I think. And also, I think that would be healthy. At first, I was like, oh, I'll draw them in a bar. And then I'm like, I don't want him. That feels mean to Oscar. Did you freeze? Yes, you did. Dang it. Okay. Sorry, give me just one moment. I think we had this issue last time too. It's like it only wants to copy me for 20 minutes and then it's like, oh, bye. And then it's going to get real big for a second. All right, there we go. This is a non-alcoholic beverage. That's important to me for healing purposes. There we go. I think, maybe it's just the glasses, which is, I feel terrible saying that just because as a person who wears glasses. But I still think, I want them to both to look just a little older than Arthur, because I think that's the state of things. We may not have canon ages, but Arthur's the young one of the group, I think. He's new to everything. Also, I have Googled it. That's so sweet. I always take your designs as canon. That's so nice. I was just about to critique one of my own designs, so that's so nice of you to say. Um, yes, this one, like I said, is kind of I've definitely borrowed slash stolen some of Potato Lord's Oscar aspects and combined them with my older Oscar. Um, but I was just about to say, this outfit that I'm drawing Arthur or Oscar in, um, not historically accurate. I the It's funny, a lot of people give priests this over this thing. I think that's only specific to bishops, or at least at the time in the 1930s. A priest probably wouldn't have been wearing that. But, it looks cooler than just like a. I could also, just draw him in. Hmm. Now that I've said that out loud, I'm like, maybe I'm just gonna change my whole vibe of this. I might just put him in a button down. Priests can wear normal clothes. I'll just keep him in the collar. There we go. Historical, slightly more historical accuracy for Oscar. And I am going to have to, yes, rule of cool. Oh, a bit late. Thank you for filling my crimson gold needs. Absolutely. I was happy to do it. I may have misread the ask at first, but I was very, very happy to revisit our favorite divorced couple, or second favorite, depending on how much you loved Arthur. But yeah, rule of cool, he can be a little inaccurate. But now he's maybe slightly less inaccurate. Maybe a little more, considering I'm about to put him in jeans, and I don't know how many priests in the 1930s were jean wearers, but they probably were. I'm not gonna check. And now I'm gonna actually have to move him completely off the page because I forgot that Noel has to be here also. They are at a diner because this is where Noel takes his dates. That's my belief. And you can't prove me wrong. Oh my goodness, it went away again. There you go. He's back. I think Oscar is like way too tall here. I don't think he's this tall. But who needs perspective? I know he's a good Catholic boy, and I know he has that napkin in his lap. It is a date. Exactly. He took Arthur to the diner, and I will not be convinced that he wasn't trying something. Okay? We all listened to the episode. I think Noel talks very like animatedly, like a lot of hand movements. I get I do think when I first listened to the episode before the episode where they go to the diner that introduces Noel, and he has Adam Fry's voice, and he's like a little sleazy almost. Like that's how he felt to me. I but he's like he seems like kind of a smooth operator. Um, I immediately did not trust him. And now he's a great character. Now I'm very attached to Noel. But I think when I formed this idea that like he's a yapper. He is I think he can be telling a story about the crazy things that PIs get up to. He is also too big for this table. Goodness gracious, you people are giants. I know he'd also probably take off his jacket to eat at the table, but I don't care. I'm attached to the jacket. Also, I'm giving him a cigarette because it's the 1930s and people smoked indoors. Maybe we could make a new headcanon that Noel is always wearing his jacket because he's like always ready for anything, always ready to move when necessary. That could get really sad really fast. Nope, that's not his nose. This is why I have the reference, guys. I forget what my own designs look like. I will. This isn't really the case. I do use sometimes when designing characters, I do look at like photo reference of actors and stuff. Um, and then I immediately throw it all away. Like both Noel and Kane actually have the most reference when it comes to like old Hollywood actors specifically. Like I wanted Noel to have this kind of like not perfect, but a little bit of like that classically handsome Hollywood actor vibe, like short hair with the swoop, um, like kind of, good, like strong jawline, like little older, no facial hair, that sort of thing. So I wanted him to play into that vibe of someone that Arthur would immediately like attach to, versus Mike Caine is actually based on a lot of Hollywood. Um, Obviously, Will Wood is there, but that kind of makes sense because as a lot of like the Will Wood persona stuff kind of plays off that like old Hollywood style. Um, but like the actor from Psycho or the oh, what's the movie? Old German film that I'm not going to be able to remember. But the guy with the black hair, Kane is just a version of all those people mixed together, but with way kind of a much messier vibe. And he absolutely, I shouldn't say this at all because this is not what he looks like, but I'm going to see Superman later tonight, and he is kind of, the little swoop is reminding me a little bit of like Christopher Reeves. Not quite, but you know, I've got it on the brain, so I'm definitely biased. Let's make him a little lower. Yeah, I think it one of I really do, especially recently. I There's like two sides to my mind. One, I do think it's a little funny when like people hear Arthur and then everybody's like, we're gonna put him, white button-down shirt and brown pants and suspenders, and that's the guy. Um, I think it's funny when there's that sort of like un like we didn't talk about it, but everybody had that bit of a consensus. But I think recently there have been a lot of like really cool, um, like very different Arthur, especially John designs, and I really love seeing them. The There's so many talented people um, in the fandom. It's so fun. I love seeing everybody's interpretations of the characters. There's a Okay. I think give them some semblance of food that neither of them are really eating. Give Mole a mug. Mole. Who? What? Sam, get it together. I think this diner's a little bit more 50s style, maybe, but oh, There we go. There. They're yapping. They're having a good they're having a good time. I think he's still a little too tall. Goodness gracious. Okay, I promise this is the last little futz I make, and then he's got a little bit of a slouch, but that's okay. All right. So there we go. A little Holy Ghost lunch date. Alrighty. Next up, oh, also a null. I am going to post after the stream. So anybody that sent me an ask on Tumblr, I'll be posting just by answering the ask. I got at least one where the person would just wanted to remain anonymous, which is totally cool. So I'll just post that. I'll probably post that by itself or with others. I might do an everything together. And then, yeah, I will say that, so I haven't actually received that many requests, which is totally okay. But what we're gonna do, I mean, this is actually, it might be just be because I'm talking so much, but we're gonna, if I run out of uh, requests to do, I have some like little malevolent Tumblr post things that I have saved in my photos, and I'll just be doing little doodles based on those until the end of the time that I've planned. So, yeah. Next up, we've got Noel absolutely cocked out on his desk, catching some Z's. He needs the sleep. This is gonna be, I'm gonna draw a desk. As he deserves. He's got one of those like paper filing systems on his desk. You know the ones? I was just earlier today I was going through the tag and I rewatched that spooky stream clip that was talking about how Noel eats a, oh, it's frozen again. Dang it, guys. It's the 20-minute thing. I swear. It just disconnects. Alrighty. There. New desk. Maybe? Yay, great. Okay. I will, okay, really quickly bear with me as I try and see if I can. Nope, it doesn't like give me settings. Advanced. Hmm. I'm just gonna let it run. There's nothing that says that it should disconnect after that time period, so it might just be a system bug. That's okay. Anyway, going back, I was rewatching that stream clip where Harlan said that Noel like only eats tuna sandwiches or something. Like that's his meal is tuna sandwiches, a cigarette, and like black coffee. This man is dying. And like he deserves whatever whatever choices he wants to make. I support it. But just absolutely not really healthy choices being made by Noel Finley, aka Charlie Dowd. This might be my favorite, just based on the environment that we are dealing with. There we go. Do. Man's down to safe food. That I understand. I had like a chicken quesadilla for lunch, and that is, I've eaten too many chicken quesadillas in my life, so I understand. I'm not judging him. I'm just making a statement about, you know, the his ongoing the health of him. That's the best way to do this. All right, there. I immediately deleted half of my environment. And that's the way. He's still holding his tuna fish sandwich. I am making this a little silly. Okay, I'm not. This is not a serious drawing. But are any of them? We're here to have fun. Get his little scar under his eye. Get his big, stupid jacket on him. I just went on a tirade on him of him never taking it off, so apparently I can't even for this very silly pose. Oh, I did actually have a thing. I think I do draw him in gloves. I don't think he'll be wearing gloves, so he has a big scar on his hand, too. That's another thing that I know about my null design. All right. There we go. There's a cute little null. I like that. He was too eepy. He was too eepy. He got halfway through lunch and he just conked right out. Um, yeah, there we go. All right, what's next? Oh, here we go. This is what I was thinking of earlier. What I was thinking, oh, Arcane. Um, yeah, yep, distracts. Sorry, went quiet there for a moment. Got another question about the requests. All right, there we go. So up next is Arcane at the altar. How did Cain get him there? His little weird little face. He looks too nervous here. Or maybe he should be nervous. Because he's like, he's getting married. It's a big day. Now, I have multiple thoughts about this. The the first thought is, who's wearing the dress? And now, here's the thing. The second thought after that is, that's reductive. It's 2025. They can both be wearing suits if they are comfortable with that, if that's what they want. And then my third thought is, but that's not fun. Now, here's the thing. Cain is always wearing a suit. Arthur in a dress. And listen, Arthur in a dress, I think is the way we're going to have to go. And I think Arthur should let himself enjoy it. Yes, okay. The chat's in agreement. This is gonna be a very silly pose. Hold on. Get those pianist fingers in here. I feel like I'm drawing Arthur backwards. Do people hold hands at weddings? I don't know. And it's a very good one, might we add. It's a very good request. He has a different face shape than Cain. Oh dear. Says and draws the exact same face shape twice. Alright, we're gonna draw post ear ripping. That's always important to note. And then we've got his special eyes. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have John here. And John and Arthur is freaking out. John is too distracted because, well, Arthur's in a with his broken nose. I'm giving him the wavy hair because I like it when he has slightly. His eyes are always sad. I might make him a little bit more distressed. I do have I have like eye rules for my characters. The eyes are the easiest thing. Kane has two versions of his eyes, one which is like this and one which is like this, and this is the happy version, and this is the I'm about to hurt you version. And sometimes they overlap. But Arthur's eyes are always this diamond shape. They're always kind of downturned slightly. And if you go into my art, you can see it in like a lot of. You can go look at Arthur's face. You'll see the diamond shaped eyes. All right, and Arthur also has his two little hair things that I gave him the first time I drew him, and now I'm attached to them. Kane would put him in a bloodstained wedding dress. Ooh, good idea. I do have to add the bloodstains. You're so smart. Okay. I'm also putting him in a little choker. Little pearl necklace. His head is too big. Once again. Just doop. Alrighty. His too long. Arms are too long. See, normally what I would do for a request like this is I would go and Google 1930s wedding dresses. And I'm not going to do that right now because we don't have time. So he's going to be in like a little lacy up top, and then it's going to be like kind of fun down at the bottom. And we're getting rid of this hand. Give me a second to fix this. It actually was smart of me to put aside 2 hours because this is going to take 30 minutes. I'm kidding, but I liked the holding hands, but unfortunately I do want Arthur to have flowers. And maybe, maybe there's like a bone in the flowers, a couple eyeballs. Like Michael's Halloween decorations. That's what that makes me think of. I'm sorry, I've gotten very attached to the mustache, so mustache time. Gonna move. Did it freeze again? It might have frozen again. Come on. I wonder who will catch the bouquet. Who is at this wedding? Who got invited to the wedding? You can catch the bouquet. That's fine. If you want to catch the bouquet, I think that puts you in a dangerous position. I don't think anybody wants to be at this wedding. I think all of the guests are in serious danger. There we go. Okay, so he's got this like lacy top thing going on. Got to bring the pearls back. I'm just gonna keep adjusting this, and you guys are gonna be like, Sam, do you do this every time you do a sketch? I'm like, not always, but a lot. I'm a very futzy person. You did bring the whole cast together in Benevolent, but that's the thing, right? Is like in Benevolent, that famously ends with Arthur exploding, and that really puts a like, is this sort of a Game of Thrones situation? I've realized I've put him in Lilith's dress, which is kind of messed up. But, if we're moving forward, we are going to ignore that. Give him a little flower. No, I don't like it. Okay. Arthur, your dress is kind of tacky, but that's fine. I do like the handprint idea. I think that's very good. So we're just gonna whoop. He's blushing. Oscar married them. Oscar, I don't. Oh, Kate invited dead Arthur's parents, and Perot was the flower girl. Parker was handing the wedding rings. Okay, I like a lot of this. Perot as the flower girl is crazy and very well, obviously. Like it's both like, of course, that's who it would be, but also it makes me feel crazy. Okay, look at his little bow tie. He's all dressed up. He's so proud of himself. And he's kind of holding his own hands in that like kind of nervous position that some people get when they're standing. Okay, so the scene is not set yet. So first of all, this is correct. This is good. He needs a veil, obviously, and that's like tattered because we're in horror land. And here's the actual altar. And it's covered in flowers, because I like those. And we're gonna make it a little smaller. So okay, look, there's the simple version, okay? There they are. It's Kane's special day, okay? He's allowed to look proud. He's so happy. This is his wife. Anyway, I'm just gonna, you gotta make some space here. This is the silliest John I've ever drawn. Okay, John. Gets his little hand. This might, again, this might be drifting. Oh, come on, guys. Not you. Guys is in the guys controlling my computer. All right, yeah. So we might be going a little further away from the original vision. I'm just being kind of silly at this point. I think John being terrified is obviously like that makes sense. But I think in this instance, John is just confused. There we go. Fun, a little comic action. Just gonna have to keep. There we go. Maximum silly. Exactly. That's what I aim to do all the time. Alrighty. So that one's wrapped up. Next up, what have we got? All right, this one's from Instagram. And this was just, can I get a sketch of the king in yellow? And the answer is, of course. Of course. We're gonna just do classic king. I've been drawing him with these tongue things, but I want to make sure I get his whole form. The king in yellow's mask is slightly thinner than John's. I draw the king in yellow as very skeletal inside his tattered cloak. I think he's a little inspired by like certain alien designs from movies and TV, which, you know, he is an alien entity. But I think in his cloak, there's like, you can see a neck, and it's like, okay, it's a skinny, kind of malnourished neck, but it's a neck. Like, that's normal. But then below the shoulders is where we get the troubling anatomy. If he's all wrapped up in his cloak, he's just tall. And his tongues come out this. So something you'll notice in my art is that when I draw the yellow sign or a yellow sign, I don't Cain's two wives. You're correct. Um, when I draw the yellow sign or a yellow sign, I don't draw the typical one. I do like that one, um, but unfortunately, Chaosium has that one copyrighted, and they are very, very picky with how people use it. So I'm always careful. I tend to make my own yellow sign, which looks a little focuses a little bit more. It's a little like this, and then it has some of those tentacle elements. Um, and I do it differently every time. But the reason my king in yellow has these three tongues is because I think it kind of harkens back to that original, not original, but that yellow sign. Um, Obviously, it's the yellow sign is used to symbolize the tentacles that he has, but the I like that it is the little tongues could easily make that shape. Cape's gonna be blowing in the wind, and you can see his chest cavity. This is another thing. I think I There were 2 pieces of art that I did for Malevolent before I did anything else, or maybe 3. Like, I did an Arthur design, and then I did the Lion Decker study, and then I did this piece with the king in yellow holding open Arthur's eye, and it's very old now. But it was when I first decided how I wanted to depict the king, and that the main thing that I wanted to have him have is this kind of empty rib cage. And I hadn't even, I think, I don't know, but I think when I listened to that, I hadn't even listened to Coda yet. So I hadn't even heard Kane call John Haster's heart yet. Um, but yeah, just this idea of there being nothing there but empty space, and then the tentacles kind of coming out of that, I really liked. I also call him dehydrated Haster because I sometimes do a version of Haster who's like a hunk and big and more of like a stereotypical, like, not stereotypical, but like more of a bit more of a human, kingly figure, but he's more so for jokes, so he's not canon. So this is dehydrated Haster. And I can't forget his crown. I am actually going to change his eyes. Oops. Alright, there's his empty chest cavity. There are his ribs coming out of nothing. I'm gonna make his shoulders a little bigger on this side. Yeah, there he is. I think his proportions might be a little funny, but there's my guy. And his proportions are allowed to be a little funny, because he, I think, is a dream logic creature, so he can look like whatever I want in the moment. There we go. Perfect. Now I'm all right. Really quickly, we're gonna. All right. All right. I'm just responding to a couple people on Instagram who are sending in some sketch requests. So next up, we have uh, yellow. So, well, we go from the king to yellow. That's great. Um, they did not specify. Yellow shadow, like what version of yellow? Um, they did say preferably something a bit angsty. Um, I think oh boy. All right, let's do Bedrock Arthur in yellow, I guess. I could also draw Larson. I don't want to because I didn't save Ref of Larson. And I don't draw him enough to remember what he looks like. So it's gonna be Shaggy Arthur instead. I don't remember all of what Arthur says to Yellow, but I do know what my Yellow looks like this time, because he finally has a more different form than John. That sentence didn't make any sense. But so my Yellow, this is where, in some of my more recent illustrations, I give John a half crown, and that's something that I don't think he gets until after the season 4 finale. When but the difference between John and Yellow is that Yellow always has his crown, but it's just on the back. Just on the back of his head. He has more cracks than John, and he specifically has gold running down his face like he's emo, because he is. Whoop. I do think about yellow often. Just, he's so sad. All right, now I have actual. Oh, right, I forgot. Okay, I messed up immediately. That's the other part of my yellow. He doesn't have a mouth. And that's why he's sad. Okay. This is not going to be as good of a head. I kind of used up my skill on that first shape. Oh, it's fine. And his head, so his body is mostly gold as opposed to John. It's a little more kingly than John. I do want to say I do think yellow could have been like John. It's just that he met Arthur when Arthur was literally having the worst day on top of a series of other bad days. And we're frozen again. Yeah, the only other drawing I have of yellow currently is the I am 10 minutes old drawing. Because he is simply 10 minutes old. Cheat to make your sketches darker. Just duplicate. I think, I don't know what Arthur's saying here necessarily, but he's definitely cutting yellow off. I don't know if I love this one. It seems a little too simple. But I do I might come back to this one. Because I don't know. I want to get a little bit more done. We've got about 30 minutes left. All right. So next up is another Knoll. Specifically, the requester asked for my baby my Knoll. And so this is just going to be another nice Knoll to keep up with the angst that we've got going on. I think I'm going to get better at drawing Knoll after this. All right. Do I draw? Do I be nice to Knoll? I think I'm not going to be nice to Knoll. I have this, I've done one drawing of Knoll in the 10 years that he was with the king. And I do think, I think he is wearing suspenders. He would probably be wearing an undershirt. But we're gonna ignore that for the sake of this drawing. I have one drawing of him in the 10 years he was with the king. And I have, in that design of him, he has this big, big yellow sign, kind of emblazoned on his arm. And I think it kind of fades, like when he's with the king, the brand essentially is like bright gold, kind of like liquid gold, like it's been infused with his skin. But I think like it's still there as scar tissue when he's back in New York. His face is a little too short. And I think he's like cleaning it because it gets agitated. Especially when Sean and Arthur are around, just to really up the angst factor. Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. Is I think it would react um like a little when he's close to Arthur, and then if John were to ever get his own body, or if Noel were to ever come into contact with him as an individual, as opposed to a voice in Arthur's head, it would react. All right. Gotta get a little closer. Get this expression right. He's just kind of hissing at the pressure. Had him having some other scars too. Just add some stuff here and there. Specify later. It's kind of weird. All right, there we go. Maybe he's not cleaning it, but he's inspecting it because it's twinging a little bit. Twinging, is that? I have no idea if that's how you say that word. All right, and there we go. Another knoll. It's a big knoll day. Alrighty, and then next up, going back to Instagram. And next up is kind of similar to our last one, actually. A Darkther sketch with regular John. Uh, interesting. Okay, I still do think about Darkther quite often. Let me just look at my Darkther. Oh, right, look at his little V-neck. Love that for him. So, I think when I do the difference, you can tell the difference between like Bedrock Arthur and Darkther, because Darkther is more of a fun person. Not really, he's a terrible person, but he's just a little bit more fun. Um, Someone Kane would like to interact with. And I don't think, Kane I don't think likes depressed Arthur. He likes Arthur that makes decisions. And so yeah, they both kill people. But Dark there's just a little bit more having a good time with it. He also has different scars than Arthur, because lore reasons. I have a lot of thoughts about Darkther, and most of them are Darkther definitely died before our series Arthur. Um, but he died differently. Like he made enough different choices that it was a completely different uh, incident than what we would have run into in canon. But he definitely didn't. I don't think he would have made it um, to Larson's. He definitely. I don't think he got his ear torn because that would require him, caring about John. He's got his hair. And a little bit of a Cain smile there. A little too wide. I don't like that, actually. We're gonna fix it. But yeah, he doesn't have the cheek scar that I normally give Arthur because he never made it to the plateau, so he never had an encounter with the dancers. He's got a gun because this Arthur doesn't lose his weapons. This is too modern of a gun. Let me just fix that. There we go. I mean, maybe this Arthur could have made it further. Maybe this Arthur found a way back from the Dreamlands and is now just causing chaos on Earth. Still with a piece of the King in Yellow in him, and still with the King in Yellow after him. So I have not written down my Darkfur lore anywhere. I probably should. I should be a good member of the fandom and actually write down my ideas and thoughts. Half of it just gets put on the Tumblr in sort of a stream of consciousness, and the other half gets lost to time for really no reason. His hand is big enough. This safety is not on, just for the record. Unsafe practices with weaponry. He still has the scar on his arm. Oh, Sketch John. You shape. I think he's just yelling at Arthur, being like, "You're better than this." Can you imagine if John sounded like that? Incredibly high pitched. Like a fairy from Legend of Zelda. Let me get some actual dialogue. Oh, goodness gracious. There we go. Okay. Let's get it back up and running. And we've only got about 12 minutes left, so I just want to see if I can. I want to finish this one and then try to do one more. I'll see how many more sketches I have in the queue, because then if I can, like, either I'll just, if there's only a couple, I'll just do them off stream tonight, but if there are a ton that I just have missed, then I might do a second stream later this week. But I'll give you ample warning. Smoking gun. Yeah, there we go. That's fun. That's them. Alrighty. And last but not least, let's see what we've got. That might actually be the last one, which might work out perfectly. I think there's one more. I was waiting for a confirmation from them. Oh, hello, but there is one and I missed it. Ooh, yes. Okay, this is perfect for the last one. Okay. It's going to be a version of the Wraith. Um, yeah, I love the Wraith. The Wraith is one of my favorite monsters. So I would happily draw her. She does, my version of the Wraith, I think, looks. I drew her before we met Scratch, and I think she looks a little similar. I am gonna pull up some ref on my end because it's been a hot second, but she's in my Monster Menagerie or Follow the Leader illustration with all of the pre-season 4 guys. Let me see. Yep, okay, there she is, flying in. Beautiful. I have her in like a wedding outfit, but she is sort of perpetually, and this is based also on I have this ghost sticker, which I refer to as a Wraith sticker, and the things I associate with Wraith is kind of, I think, similar a little to a banshee, but just sort of the wails, the wailing, the crying, the unending sound from of death and despair. But I have her similar once again to the king, just that very sickly, like she's a corpse and a ghost at the same time. But she's a, she's a young mother and she never got to care, got to live her life. She was just, I really like her. I big fan of the Wraith. Let me make this a little. Her eyes are white. She's got those big tears coming down her. But kind of again reminiscent of my favorite type of ghost, the sheet ghost. She's wearing this kind of veil on her head, over her hair. Blood pools from her mouth. All right, so we're just gonna whoop. I think her chest is a little too big there. Her head's a little too small. Just gonna, that's too small. Little middle ground there. Her sort of moth-eaten clothes. I think when I designed this, I did look up, I was looking for like slightly older designs. Like she's almost stuck out of time. She's not like necessarily 1930s. She might be 1910s or 1920s. These are even older. Because, it's been a while since this woman's been among the living. Then we just don't know if I like the lips. It's her, Yorick, and the king. They've all got these kind of death mask faces. I think in the moments, like when she holds the baby, there's maybe like a shadow of like who she was. But as soon, but it is quickly replaced with the horror of what she has become. Ooh. I don't know. I don't know about that cross-hatching there, but yeah, there we go. So there's the Wraith. Let me see. I do. I think that's where we're gonna end tonight. On that really, really uplifting subject. Um, I think, yeah, like I said, I'm just waiting on that one other person to get back to me, so I'll probably finish that off stream. Um, I think, yeah, that'll be it for tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for the folks that stayed for the whole 2 hours. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm glad we got to do this. I find it fun. I haven't been able to stream much recently because my schedule's been a little all over the place, but I am hoping to do it a little bit more often. So yeah, hope everybody has a lovely day. Thanks for all for tuning in, for voting for Malevolent. It's a favorite of mine, so glad we could all share this together. Um, See you later. Bye bye.